The Chief Operating Officer is one of the most misunderstood roles in any senior leadership team. And I say that as someone who lived that role. I scaled a fintech company from 5 million and 100 employees to 19 million in annual revenue and 250 plus employees in just 2 years across different countries and remotely. And in that journey, I saw firsthand how poorly defined and how widely underestimated the COO function is. So today, I want to break it down properly for you. I want to explain what the role actually is, what it takes to do it well, and where it's heading. Before we begin, my name is Vahab and I'm a former COO, currently business advisor, and author of the upcoming book, The Rubicon Leader. On this channel, I talk about business operations, leadership, and personal development. Actual practical stuff that move the needle. So if you like content like this, please consider subscribing. Now let's get into it. Here's what's changed over the last 2 decades. The COO role has evolved dramatically. First of all, let's talk about CEOs. Today's CEOs is expected to be the face of the brand. They need to go to different conferences, do media interviews, and build in the public narrative of the company and the business. Think of Steve Jobs or Elon Musk. They are the kind of leaders who become synonymous with their company's names. And there is nothing wrong with that. Charisma, vision, and public credibility are real competitive advantages. But here's the problem. When a CEO is spending energy on brand building and external stakeholders, management, and so on, who is actually running the business? Who is there making sure that the strategy gets executed, teams are aligned, and the day-to-day operations don't fall apart? And that's where the COO comes in. Traditionally, the COO is a second in command. They are reporting directly to the CEO. They are responsible for overseeing the daily administrative and operational functions of the company. But here's the thing. The actual definition of the role is remarkably ambiguous. In some companies, the COO is purely a back office operator. In some others, the role spans HR, finance, marketing, sales, supply chain, and so on. And in others, still the COO is being groomed to eventually become CEO. What I can tell you from my own experience is this one. The modern COO must be able to hold both. You need to manage today's operations while simultaneously driving tomorrow's transformation and vision. That duality is what makes the role so demanding and so rare to do well. Now, one of the reasons the COO role is so misunderstood is that it manifests differently depending on the company and its needs. Based on research and my own experience, there are 7 distinct types of COOs. Number one is the executor. This type of COO is the classic right hand to the CEO model. And the executor's job is to take the CEO's strategy and vision and make it real. They are driving multiple processes at once. They are driving strategy, organizational structure, and also operational part. And this was largely my role during the fintech scaling years. The vision was set, and my job was to build a machine that delivered it. The second type is the change agent. Some companies bring in a COO specifically to lead a major transformation, such as a turnaround, a rapid expansion, or a structural overhaul. This COO is brought in for a mission, and the role may end when the mission is complete, or it may evolve into something more permanent. Next type is the mentor. This type of COO is especially common in startups. Let's say a young founder with a brilliant idea but limited operational experience pairs with a seasoned executive who has seen it all before and someone who can guide both the CEO and the business through early stages of growth and chaos. Number four is the other half. Sometimes the CEO is a deliberate counterbalance to the CEO. Think of it this way, yin and yang. A visionary, high-energy CEO paired with a calm, methodical COO. A clear example of this is Bill Gates and John Shirley at Microsoft, which are the textbook examples. Gates brought brilliance and intensity. Shirley brought steadiness and operational discipline, and together they worked. Number five is the partner. In some organizations, the CEO simply prefers co-leadership. Michael Dell and Kevin Rawlings famously ran Dell together, and they were sharing not just the workload, but they were sharing the same office divided only by a glass partition. There were two leaders, but going through the same direction. Number six is the heir apparent. The COO role is sometimes used as a proving ground for the CEO role. It's a chance for the incoming leader to learn full business, its people, its products, its culture, before stepping into the top seat. Having said that, the COO title isn't a guarantee that you become permanently a CEO. Sometimes, and most of the time, it doesn't work. And number seven is the MVP. Finally, sometimes the COO title is used strategically to retain a high-performing executive that companies simply cannot afford to lose, especially with competitors circling around, they want to headhunt this person. It's kind of part recognition and part retention, and also part hedge against succession uncertainty. Seven different functions, same title, and that's why there is so much confusion about the COO role. If you are in a COO role or aspiring to be one, there are things that you owe the CEO you work for. Top of the list is respect. You have to fully believe in the CEO's strategic leadership and publicly back their initiatives. You can have disagreements in private, but all the alignments belongs in public. Second thing is a checked ego. You can be and should be a confident leader. But the COO who walks into every senior leadership meeting needing to win the room is going to create friction where there needs to be trust. Third one, an eye on execution. The COO's job is getting things done because a strategy without execution is just a storytelling. Your job is to close that gap between a strategy and execution. Fourth one is coaching and coordination. The best COOs know when to step out of tactical work and instead teach, develop, and align others. Because you can't scale a company by doing everything yourself. I learned that lesson the hard way, unfortunately. The relationship between COO and CEO runs both ways. And CEOs, this part is for you. First of all, the most important part is the communication. Your COO needs full access to the strategic picture. You need to have a real, direct, explicit communication about where you're taking the company and why you're doing that. Second, clear decision rights. One of the fastest ways to break a COO is to leave the boundaries of their authority undefined. For example, who owns what needs to be clear, especially between the CEO and COO. Third one is a locked back door. The COO needs to be the true operational gatekeeper. That means the CEO must redirect reporting lines and communication clearly to the COO. If people can still go around the COO to get to the CEO, the COO's authority is undermined from day one. And fourth one is a shared spotlight. And perhaps most importantly, share the recognition together. Your COO is likely driving much of the internal success that makes you look good externally. So your job as a CEO is to give them visibility, development opportunities, and real seat at the decision-making table. So where is the COO role heading? There is a paradox here. As the CEO role expands outward towards brand, stakeholders, public narrative, the internal leadership gap grows. And that makes the COO role more important than ever before. And yet, research shows that the number of companies actually using the COO title has declined. One study found a 22% drop over the 10-year period. At the same time, large companies like Microsoft, Apple, Airbus, Comcast, Nissan have all appointed COOs in recent years. So the role isn't disappearing, it's evolving. What I personally believe is this: the COO of the future isn't defined by a job description. It's defined by the specific needs of the business and the CEO at a given moment. The best COOs out there will be the people who can read the environment, adapt to what's needed, and lead through uncertainty without someone coming and tell them what their job is. And the confusion around the role is actually the biggest barrier to more companies benefiting from it. Boards don't know when to hire one, recruiters don't know where to find them, and talented operators don't always know if the role is right for them or not. And that's exactly why conversations like this are important. The COO role is very complex, it's nuanced, and it's one of the most consequential positions in any organization when done right. Whether you're a founder wondering if you need a COO, or an executive stepping into the COO role, or someone in the middle of scaling your own business, I hope this gave you a clear picture of what the position actually demands. If this was useful, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I put out content on this channel about operational leadership, scaling strategy, and what it really takes to build a business that grows profitability. And if you're at a stage where you're thinking about how to bring this kind of operational leadership into your company, visit my website conciliumdynamics.com. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.